Hey YouTube, it's Amy with another video for you furniture flippers. And today I'm going to talk about some things you should avoid doing. So you won't be that guy who's doing the obnoxious stuff when they're trying to sell furniture. So stay tuned. Real quick before I get into that, I just want to invite you to go and download my free furniture flippers pricing worksheet if you're interested in calculating kind of how much you can pay for different things and still make the money that you want, or what you should price things at depending on what kind of strategy you want to use, how much work you put into it, and things like that. So check that out in the description box below. Well, in my last video, I gave you some tips of things that you should be doing on the regular if you are wanting to flip furniture. And one of my bonus tip that got a lot of reaction was not to have terrible pictures. And that was inspired just by some pictures I saw. Well, okay, one picture in particular, and I will overlay it here, that I saw that I just couldn't believe it was so bad that someone would post that. And so that started me on this new video topic, which is some things you should not do if you are wanting to flip furniture. So let's start with number one right here, is going to be the opposite of what I said for the tip. Do not have a terrible photo. Now, I can understand not everybody is able to stage something or move it into a place where it's all by itself. Maybe you're not even able to move a heavy piece of furniture around where it's on a wall with nothing else. That's not always practical for everyone. Some flippers are keeping things in a warehouse or a garage and they can't move it from there. But what you can do is at least just pick up the trash or the clothes or the junk or whatever is thrown on it and around it. Have a little respect for the piece of furniture, people. Just do something so that you're at least highlighting the furniture piece itself and people can see as much of it as possible. That's the bare minimum, okay? So make sure that you are taking the best picture that you can under your own circumstances and trying to show it in the best way that you can. The number two thing I'm gonna say not to do is, I see this mistake a lot and people sometimes just don't realize, make sure that your thumbnail photo, the photo that's gonna show up in the listing people are browsing through, is a photo that shows the entire shot of the piece of furniture so people can tell what it is. Sometimes people just don't notice it, the order that they listed their pictures, that they uploaded them in. The picture that's showing on their thumbnail is something that's just like a detail shot or one little leg of the furniture or just a side thing where people looking at that listing cannot even tell what it looks like. And so they're probably not gonna click on it. And you need to look at the platform you're listing on. It will usually tell you, like, the first one you upload is going to be the thumbnail picture, or you need to select the thumbnail. You need to make sure that you know what the rules are for that platform that you're listing on. Usually it's the first one that you upload is going to be the thumbnail picture. And then just go back and check your listing and make sure that the thumbnail picture is a picture you want where people can tell what it is. I'm scrolling through showing you several that I just screenshotted that were pictures of things you can't really tell what they are, and a lot of them are already even marked down, and I think that's because the people are not getting any response. They don't know why. They had to go ahead and almost immediately mark the price down. They don't realize that it's because people can't even tell what they're selling. Oh, by the way, little hint here, if you are a flipper and you're looking for pieces that you want to buy and resell, when other people make these mistakes, you may be able to capitalize on them. If someone has a listing of something and no one can tell what it is, you may be able to click on that thing, see what it is. If it's been up for a while and they're not getting any offers, then you may be able to go in, make them a lower offer and see if you can get it, and then list it properly and go back and sell it. Tip number three in the list of things that probably should go without saying is try to spell your listing correctly. Now, luckily, the algorithms and the platforms have gotten smart enough to pick up a lot of things that are not spelled properly and put them in the right place. And even just if there are language that's used colloquially that is not really the proper name of the thing, they'll hopefully usually put it in the right place. I mean, I know Chester drawers is a thing that some people call a chest of drawers, but try to list it as dresser or chest of drawers. Try and just do enough research that you kind of know what it is you're selling and what you're doing. A biggie for misspelling is armoire, and so I'm gonna pull a couple of things I pulled out just by searching a misspelling for armoire, and we got not only armor, but also some people who were selling Under Armour shirts spelled it under armoire, and so it's being listed in furniture with armoires when they're actually Under Armour shirts. And as you can see, one of these listings, it literally says Under Armour on the shirt, and the person still misspelled it in the listing. So I don't know, just watch your spelling. I'm not on a high horse about this. I'm not saying I'm a perfect speller. When I was in 9th grade world history, I spelled Leaning Tower of Pisa on a test, P-I-Z-Z-A instead of P-I-S-A, and I got made fun of for it. But luckily, because that history teacher was a nice enough guy, he still gave me credit. Hey, what can I say? I thought it was like ballet. Ballet is spelled B-A-L-L-E-T, ballet, but you pronounce it ballet. I guess I thought the town of Pisa was pronounced Pisa, but spelled pizza. So it's not. Mistake number 4 to watch out for is just try not to mislabel your piece of furniture. Again, this isn't necessarily a fatal error, but if you can really properly label it as what it is and label it with maybe all the things that it can be called, then you'll have a better chance of selling it. What I'm pulling here is a couple pictures of things. They have listed them as dressers. They are dressers, but they are actually more specifically changing tables. And one of them specifically, I used to have a children's store, and this is a high-end brand of a changing table for a baby's room and nursery, and it even has the hard top changer on top that you would use to put the changing pad on and change the baby's diaper. And so a person who's looking for a changing table is going to pay more for that than a person who's just looking for any dresser. And so if you could list that properly, you are going to find the people who want the thing you're selling a little better. The second one is also a changing table, but it can be used for both. But the reason it has 2 different heights is because it's used as a changing table. So the more you can learn about the things you're trying to resell, the better off you're going to be. And along with this, another little note about mislabeling something, I'm also going to include not divulging that there is damage or something wrong with it in the pictures and in the listing. If you are not really being straightforward about that, you're going to waste other people's time, and it's going to waste your time because you're not letting them know in advance if there's any problems or anything. And if they come all the way to your place and look at it and it has a bunch of damage that you did not tell them about, then they're not going to be real happy with it, and it wastes your time too. So go ahead in the listing. If there are things that aren't perfect, let the buyers know. It's better to be upfront about that, and then they know. And then if they still want to come buy it, then everybody's informed, and no one's day got wasted. Okay. That leads me right into the next tip, which I'm just going to call the golden rule. This is sort of a catch-all tip of don't be the guy who does stuff that you wouldn't want other people to do to you. Okay. If you're buying and selling, you don't want somebody who's not divulging damage that a piece has until you get out there to look at it. You want them to let you know before you take the time to do that. And there are several other things that are just best practices to just treat people with respect their time, respect their money, and just be sure that you're doing those things when you are selling something that you would like someone else to be doing when they're selling to you. So, for example, don't call somebody up on the first day if they have something listed as firm, the price, or if you ask them, are you willing to flex on the price, and they say no. Don't make them meet you, and then after they've trotted this piece of furniture out, offer them half of what they're asking for it. That's just kind of an insult to their time. If it's been listed for a while, or if you talked to them on the phone and asked if they were flexible on their price, and they said, maybe, then you can negotiate with them a little bit, especially when the listing first goes up. I mean, have some class. Don't necessarily try to lowball somebody on the first day. I mean, that's just frustrating for them. So you probably wouldn't want people to do that to you when you're trying to sell something and not waste your time. Another kind of schmucky move is to talk somebody way down off what they're selling. This is especially true at flea markets and places like that you just negotiate them way down. Say they have something listed at $20 and you finally convince them to sell it to you for $10, and then you pull out a $20 bill and ask them if they can make change for a $20. That's sort of a schmucky move, right? Because obviously you have $20, that's what they wanted for it, you could pay for it. So when you are buying things, especially at some place like a garage sale or flea market, try to bring lots of different denominations of money and be able to pay as close to the price that you have negotiated for as possible. All right, it's just nicer to do that. Just try to do that for people, okay? And finally, along those lines of good karma, or treating people the way you want to be treated, try not to make it hard for people to look at the item or to pay for the item or to pick up the item. Try to make it as easy for them as possible. If you're able to take different forms of payment, and it's free now and it's not hard to do. Venmo and PayPal and Zelle and all that stuff. Do some of those things so that you can make it easier for people to pay you, because the harder you make it, the less likely you are to sell. I've always said, even when I had retail stores, you have got to make it easy for people to pay you. I mean, you want them to pay you. That's what you want more than anything else. So make it easy as possible for them to pay you. And that's what you got to do. Even if there's a certain cost associated with it, or if it's a little bit of a hassle for you, it's still worth it to get paid, right? Make it easy for people to pay you. That's a big rule to go by. Okay, those are just a few things I think you should avoid doing when you're buying or selling furniture. And I would love to hear yours down in the comments. This is something that would be quite interesting to me. So please join in, pipe in, let me know what you think people should not do. And I'd love to hear from you there. See you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.